All right, so you sent over a whole stack of articles about the paralegal world.
Yeah.
Looks like you're thinking about maybe branching out a little bit. And honestly, the timing couldn't be better because this
Wow.
whole field, it seems like it's really going through some massive shifts.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're really seeing a lot of the traditional roles kind of evolve, and all these new specializations are popping up. And then obviously technology is really shaking things up.
Yeah.
It really is a really interesting time to be kind of exploring all the different options that you might have as a paralegal.
Yeah, for sure. And to kind of get us started, one of these articles that you sent, the best alternative career for paralegals in 2025.
Okay.
It kind of paints this picture of like a really rosy job market.
Right.
But it also kind of hints that a lot of people who are already paralegals, they're thinking about making a change.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? Like, on the one hand, you've got the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They're projecting that there are going to be over 37,000 openings each year for paralegals and legal assistants.
Wow.
And this is with like faster than average growth predicted over the next decade.
Okay.
And then back in 2022, the median salary was $59,200.
Okay.
And U.S. News even ranked it as like the 7th best job you can have in social services.
Wow. So that's pretty good, right?
Right.
Job security, good pay. That's a great starting point.
Yeah.
But then this article goes on to say that a whopping 62% of legal professionals are feeling burned out.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on there?
Well, you have to think about just like the day-to-day realities of it, right?
Yeah.
You've got demanding schedules. A lot of times people are working, more than 50 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
There's just this constant pressure to make sure everything is absolutely accurate. And then sometimes you even have like ethical dilemmas that you have to kind of navigate as well that can really take a toll on anyone.
Yeah, for sure. I can see how that would lead to burnout. And it makes me wonder what kind of personality actually thrives in like a traditional paralegal role.
Someone who really enjoys like that meticulous nature of legal work.
Yeah.
For sure. They have to be like incredibly organized and detail-oriented and just be able to kind of stay calm even when they're under pressure.
Right. So if you're feeling that burnout, or maybe you're like, you know what, those qualities don't really describe me,
Yeah.
then it makes sense to start thinking about some alternatives.
Yeah, for sure.
And one that keeps popping up in these articles is legal operations.
Okay.
What exactly does that entail?
This is where things get really interesting.
Go ahead.
Legal operations is all about like applying business practices to the legal world.
Okay.
So imagine like using technology and project management skills to like streamline processes in a law firm or a company's legal department just to improve efficiency and to ultimately save money.
So it's kind of like taking those traditional paralegal skills, but adding on another layer
Yes.
of strategic thinking and a little bit of tech wizardry.
Yeah, exactly. Paralegals are already so familiar with like legal workflows and processes, and they're already very organized. So they're really a perfect fit for this evolving field.
And actually, one of these articles mentioned a paralegal who moved into legal operations.
Okay.
And they single-handedly streamlined this contract review process.
Wow.
Using AI software, and they cut down the review time by like 75%.
That's incredible. Yeah, and that's a perfect example of just how valuable this skill set is becoming. And legal departments are facing so much pressure right now to do more with less. So legal operations is really becoming like a crucial part of that equation.
Okay. So if you're great with tech and you really like finding ways to make things more efficient, but you still want to use your legal knowledge, legal operations could be a good fit.
Definitely.
So what are some other paths that maybe play to those same strengths?
Contract management is another natural progression for a lot of paralegals. They already have so much experience with contract analysis and drafting and review.
Right. They're basically contract whisperers at this point.
Exactly. So transitioning into a dedicated contract management role just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
They could be developing contract management systems, negotiating terms, ensuring compliance, and just mitigating risks overall.
And this isn't just limited to like law firms, is it?
No, not at all.
I imagine like any business needs people who can
all kinds of businesses
wrangle contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. From corporations and government agencies to healthcare and even tech startups.
Wow.
Contracts are like the backbone of how businesses operate. And so skilled contract managers are really in high demand.
So we've got legal operations, we've got contract management. two potential paths that leverage those core paralegal skills,
right,
but add some exciting new dimensions.
Yeah.
These articles also mentioned compliance and mediation.
Yes.
So what can you tell us about those areas?
Compliance is a great fit for people who kind of thrive on regulations and making sure that organizations are following the rules.
Right.
They could work in finance, healthcare, environmental protection, any field that has like stringent regulations.
Yeah, I bet those meticulous research and analytical skills would be super valuable there.
Oh, absolutely.
They could sniff out a non-compliant comma from a mile away.
Exactly. And then for people with more of a knack for communication and conflict resolution, mediation could be a really fulfilling option.
Okay.
They could be helping parties to reach agreements outside of the courtroom, which can often be less adversarial and more cost-effective as well.
Okay, so we've got options for people who love digging into the details.
Right.
And for people who prefer the human side of things. But there's this other big elephant in the room, or should I say tech giant.
Oh.
How is technology impacting the paralegal career landscape as a whole?
Ooh, this is where things get really exciting. Legal tech is advancing at just an incredible pace, and it's opening up all these new possibilities for paralegals who are tech savvy.
One article specifically mentioned e-discovery and litigation support.
Yes.
As areas with booming demand.
Yeah.
Can you break those down for us?
So think about just the sheer volume of electronic data that's involved in like legal cases these days.
Right. Emails, documents, text messages, social media posts.
All of it.
Oh my God.
E-discovery is all about managing and analyzing that data.
So it's like being a digital detective for legal cases.
Exactly. You're sifting through mountains of electronic evidence, trying to identify the relevant information, organize it, and get it prepped to use in court.
Wow.
It involves specialized software and techniques like predictive coding, which uses AI to identify relevant documents.
Wow.
And then you've got data visualization, which helps create like compelling presentations of all that evidence.
So then litigation support, that's where those digital detectives hand off their findings.
Yeah, litigation support is kind of like a broader category. It involves a whole range of services that are provided to attorneys throughout the entire litigation process.
Okay.
So think like legal research, document preparation, trial prep, and even managing the technology that's used in the courtroom.
So it's a blend of those traditional paralegal skills, but then like a heavy dose of tech expertise.
Yeah. And one article mentioned that 59% of legal managers, they're specifically looking for candidates with these hybrid skills.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty clear signal, I think.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Paralegals who are comfortable with e-filing systems, legal research databases, and even AI-powered tools, those are the people who are going to be in high demand.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Legal operations, contract management, compliance mediation, and then the massive impact of legal tech.
It's a lot.
It feels like we've only just begun to scratch the surface.
I know we have, but we've laid like a good foundation for understanding the different possibilities that are out there. What I think is really intriguing is how these different alternative paths kind of play out in different sectors, like the corporate world or government agencies.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Okay.
What kind of opportunities await paralegals in the corporate sector?
All right, let's talk about.
We'll tackle that right after we take a quick break. So we were just talking about all these different alternative paralegal paths, and I'm curious how they kind of play out in the corporate world.
Yeah.
Because it seems like companies are realizing more and more that they really need someone who speaks both like the language of law and the language of business.
Yeah, you're totally right. In-house legal teams are becoming more and more reliant on paralegals, especially as they kind of branch out into more specialized roles.
Okay, so what are some of the specific roles the paralegals are filling in the corporate world?
Yeah.
Like, what's drawing these companies to their unique skill set?
I think it's their versatility.
Okay.
Paralegals can handle such a wide range of tasks.
Right.
You know, they're meticulous, they understand legal processes, and a lot of times they're already familiar with how the company operates.
Yeah, it's like they're the Swiss Army knives of the legal department.
Great analogy.
So we're seeing a rise in these specialized roles for paralegals within corporations. And one that stands out is the legal operations manager.
Yes.
Which we touched on a little bit earlier.
Right.
So could a paralegal really make that jump from a traditional law firm role to like a legal operations manager within a company?
Absolutely. In that role, they would be focused on making sure the legal department runs smoothly, finding ways to save money, implementing new technologies, managing projects effectively.
So really like the operational side of things.
Exactly.
What about contract management in the corporate world?
Yeah.
Is that a common path for paralegals?
Absolutely. Corporations deal with so many contracts.
I bet.
Think about vendor agreements, employment contracts, intellectual property licenses, mergers and acquisitions.
Look on it.
They need skilled people to handle all of that.
So a paralegal who's already spent years analyzing, drafting, negotiating contracts would just be a natural fit.
Exactly. They already understand those nuances of contract language, and they're so meticulous about details, which is so crucial in that role.
So it sounds like the corporate sector offers not just a change of scenery,
Right.
but also some really great opportunities for career growth and specialization.
Absolutely.
What about the public sector?
Okay.
What kind of roles might a paralegal find in like government agencies or nonprofits?
The public sector can be so fulfilling for people who really want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Paralegals could work for federal, state, or local agencies,
Okay.
supporting legal matters across a whole bunch of different areas.
Good.
They could be researching laws, preparing documents, assisting with investigations, or even working on policy initiatives.
So there's a path for someone who's interested in like any area of law,
Pretty much.
from environmental protection to criminal justice.
Exactly. And for those who are really passionate about social justice, legal aid groups and nonprofits offer some really meaningful work.
Yeah.
They might be helping with housing issues, family law matters, immigration cases, or advocating for policy changes that benefit underserved communities.
I can only imagine that the work is really diverse there
It is.
and has a real impact on people's lives.
Absolutely. It can be challenging, but also incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so we've painted this picture of all these different paths from legal ops in a tech startup to fighting for social justice at a nonprofit.
Right.
But let's get practical for a minute.
Okay.
How do these alternative paths stack up in terms of salary and growth potential?
Okay.
Is it financially worth making the switch?
That's a great question. While a traditional paralegal role offers a solid median salary around $59,200, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics,
Okay.
some of these alternative paths have the potential to earn even more.
Okay, so which ones stand out in terms of earning power?
Senior in-house counsel positions, especially those at the director level, can command really impressive salaries,
Wow.
particularly in specialized areas like compliance.
Oh,
Legal operations managers with extensive experience are also in high demand and often earn six-figure salaries.
wow.
And then contract managers with expertise in complex industries can also earn top dollar.
So those who specialize and gain experience in these in-demand areas
Yeah.
could really see a significant bump in salary.
Definitely. And we can't forget about the growth of legal technology.
Right.
As we said earlier, e-discovery and legal tech are hot fields, and the demand for those skilled professionals is only going to increase. So that translates to competitive salaries and a lot of room for advancement.
It makes sense the more specialized and in-demand your skills are, the more leverage you have.
Exactly. And it's not just about the money, of course.
Right.
A lot of people find these alternative paths more fulfilling,
Okay.
with more opportunities for creativity leadership and making a real impact.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where your skills, your passions, and the market demands all kind of intersect.
Exactly.
So we've talked about all these exciting career paths and how
Yeah.
the legal landscape is shifting.
Right.
But to be successful in any of these roles, there's certain skills you need to have
Oh, yeah.
in your toolkit, right?
Absolutely. Let's dive into that.
Welcome back. So we've uncovered all these exciting alternative career paths for paralegals,
Yeah.
from legal operations to contract management to even public service. But how do you actually make that leap
Right.
from traditional paralegal work to one of these new roles?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
It's about taking all this information and actually turning it into action. And the first step is to really just take a look in the mirror.
So a little bit of self-reflection before making any big move.
Exactly.
What kind of questions should people be asking themselves at this stage?
I think start with the basics. What are you really good at?
Okay.
What do you enjoy doing? What kind of work environment makes you feel energized and motivated?
Right.
And then, just as importantly, what are your non-negotiables?
Right.
Like, what are the things that you absolutely are not willing to compromise on?
Yeah, it sounds like figuring out what you don't want is just as important
Yes.
as knowing what you do want.
Absolutely. Once you have a clearer picture of like your ideal career,
Okay.
you can start exploring which of these paths really aligns best with your goals and your values.
So let's say you've done the soul searching. and you have a couple paths in mind.
Okay.
What's the best way to actually learn about these roles and how to break into them?
Networking is key.
Oh,
You have to talk to people who are already doing the kind of work that you're interested in.
mm-hmm.
Attend industry events, connect with people on LinkedIn,
Okay.
reach out to your alma mater's career services office.
Yeah.
The more connections that you can make, the more insights that you're going to gather.
It's all about tapping into that hidden job market, right?
Exactly. The opportunities that aren't even advertised.
Right.
And don't underestimate the power of informational interviews.
Okay.
Like, reach out to people that you admire or whose career paths you find intriguing,
Uh-huh.
and just ask them if they'd be willing to share their experience over a quick coffee or a Zoom call.
Yeah,
You'd be surprised how many people are willing to help
I bet.
someone just starting out.
It's really about building those relationships,
Yeah.
right? Gathering intel, maybe finding a mentor along the way.
Exactly. And while you're networking, make sure your resume and your online profiles are updated
Right.
and they highlight those skills and that experience that's relevant to the roles that you're interested in.
Especially those tech skills that we were talking about before.
Yes.
Those seem to be like in really high demand across the board.
Absolutely. And if you're lacking certain skills or certifications, don't be afraid to invest in some professional development,
Okay.
to take online courses, go to workshops, or even pursue a master's degree just to make yourself stand out.
Okay. Are there specific certifications that could give someone an edge in these alternative legal careers?
There are a few that are becoming really valuable.
That-
For those interested in legal operations, there's the Certified Legal Operations Professional, or CLOP, credential.
Huh?
That's offered by the Corporate Legal Operations Consortium, or CLOC.
So if you're serious about legal operations,
Yes.
that's one to look into.
Absolutely. That certification shows that you have expertise in areas like legal technology, project management, and process improvement.
What about contract management?
Yeah.
Are there any certifications for that path?
There's the Certified Commercial Contracts Manager, or CCCM credential,
Okay.
which is offered by the National Contract Management Association, NCMA.
Okay.
That one's highly respected in the field.
It sounds like these certifications, they boost your credibility,
Mm-hmm.
but also give you a deeper understanding
Yes.
of the field itself.
Exactly. And then for those who are looking to make like a bigger leap or maybe move into leadership positions,
Okay.
a master's degree could be a real game changer. Like a Master of Legal Studies, MLS, or a Master of Jurisprudence, MJ, can really give you a more in-depth understanding of the legal system,
Okay.
which is beneficial for those roles in compliance, legal operations, or government work.
And for those who are interested in the intersection of law and tech,
Yeah.
are there specific master's programs for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Several universities now offer a Master of Science in Legal Technology, or MSLT.
Okay.
And those programs really dig deep into data analytics, artificial intelligence, and how technology is transforming the practice of law.
So whether you're passionate about legal tech contract management or anything else we talked about, there's probably a program or certification out there to help you
There probably is.
take your career to the next level.
Yes.
But it's not just about the credentials, right?
No.
It's about how you actually present yourself and your experience when you're applying for these roles.
Yeah, tailoring your application materials is so important. Your cover letter, that's your chance to really connect the dots for potential employers
Okay.
and show them how your paralegal skills are transferable to this new area.
So instead of just listing your past duties,
Right.
you're highlighting the skills you gained and how they apply to the new role.
Exactly. Use concrete examples to show how your paralegal experience relates to the specific requirements of the job.
Okay.
And don't forget to let your enthusiasm shine through.
Yeah.
Passion is contagious.
It's about showcasing your skills, but also your personality
Yeah.
and your genuine interest in the new path.
Definitely. We've talked about a lot of practical tips, but I know making a career change, it can be really daunting.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's feeling maybe overwhelmed or a little bit intimidated by the whole process? It's normal to feel that way. It's a big step.
Right.
But just remember why you're doing this.
Right.
What are you hoping to achieve? What are you excited about? Keep those goals in mind and celebrate all the small victories along the way.
So focus on the positive. Don't let setbacks derail you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to lean on your support network, friends, family, or even a career coach. Having that cheering squad can make all the difference.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like we've given our listeners a real roadmap for navigating this world of alternative paralegal careers.
I agree. We've covered so much, but I think the main takeaway is that the legal field is changing fast.
Right.
There are tons of opportunities out there for paralegals who are willing to adapt, embrace new skills, and pursue their passions.
So for our listener who's been soaking up all this info, what's the one thought we want to leave them with?
Don't limit yourself. The skills you've developed as a paralegal are so valuable, and they can open doors to so many fulfilling and rewarding careers. Explore your options, talk to inspiring people, and don't be afraid to take a leap of faith. You might be surprised by what you can accomplish.
On that inspiring note,
Yeah.
we'll wrap up this deep dive into alternative career paths for paralegals. We hope you feel empowered and excited to take that next step in your career journey. Until next time, keep diving deep.